All right, Lee, we're going to go take a bath today.
I've already taken one.
No, not that kind of bath. This is a sound bath. I found this brochure for the Sound Healing Center. So it's sound healing.
Very interesting.
Today we're at the Sound Healing Center. We have owner Amy Hudson with us to explain a little bit about what goes on here and what is sound healing, in case you've never heard of it. Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having us out today.
Oh, thanks for coming.
Yeah, this is a beautiful studio.
Thank you.
So tell us, what is sound healing?
Yeah, so sound healing is a term that used to just talk about the healing that uses frequency and vibration to impact your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. And so it's just using vibration to calm your nervous system into a space where you can receive healing.
So you have these beautiful bowls, and they're not just any bowls. You didn't pull these out of your kitchen cabinet.
Not Tupperware bowls. Right.
Yes.
How do you use the bowls? Do you just play a bunch of sound for a period of time? How does that work?
Yeah, so they're quartz crystal singing bowls. They're a relatively new instrument in the world of sound healing. They were discovered almost by accident in the 1980s. And since then, they've discovered that they were resonant, meaning they made sound. And so in the same way that you could take a crystal goblet and take your finger and play the edge and have it tone, it works very similarly. So I take what I would call a mallet, or some people might call it a striker, and trace the edge of the singing bowl with it. And that will create friction, which vibrates the bowl, and that sound makes a sound, and that extends out. So the way I play is not the way that every sound healer or practitioner would play. I like to play one bowl for a few minutes at a time, and then I move to another bowl, and I go all the way through the set, and then I'll begin to play multiple bowls, and I'll use different techniques to make different types of sounds. So you might hear me strike it versus play it. Where another sound healer would incorporate maybe more instruments, in the sense that they might have a gong or a handpan, chimes. I do use multiple instruments, but I would say 80% of what I play is crystal singing bowls.
So what are some of the benefits of sound healing?
Yeah, so there are many. I like to talk, or at least lead, with the benefits to someone that experiences a lot of chronic stress and anxiety. It can really help relax. I think it's just about everybody.
Yeah, in this day and age.
It really is. And I think that we are not meant to be tuned in to every single thing that's happening across the world, and our nervous systems get very overwhelmed by too much information. And so then you couple that with just your day-to-day living, you end up chronically stressed and anxious. And so it really helps your body regulate in the sense of a nervous system by slowing your brain waves down. So it's called brainwave entrainment. And so the more that I play the bowl, the slower that your brain waves become. And you go into these states naturally anyway when you go to sleep. But whenever you go into those slower states and you go into that restful state, that's where healing can happen.
Well, this is a beautiful environment you're in. You called it the tree house. It reminds us of a tree house. You have, looks like a little mats where people can lay down, or you have these swings. Do people do both during a session, or how does that work?
Yeah, so most people are gonna pick a spot and stay, although I never want someone to stay in one spot because they feel they have to. I like to allow people the ability to move and be flexible, because if your physical body's not comfortable, you're gonna have a much harder time relaxing. And so some people prefer to lay flat, and so I do have mats, blankets, pillows, blocks to help prop people up in different ways. But I also have, I don't know if you can see it in the background, zero gravity chairs, which are basically just reclining chairs. And that is for those that are like, I'm not going to be able to get it off the ground if you put me on the ground.
We're almost there.
Yeah.
Not quite yet, but we're almost to that point. So
Yeah,
it's nice
it really just depends. It's not just someone, it's anyone that just physically doesn't feel like they can get up off the floor. And there are many different reasons why that could be. I don't like to insinuate what a person would be that would need it. And some people just like to lay in that way. It's very comfortable.
So tell us what kind of workshops you have, the times, and how people book.
Yeah, so I offer weekly sound baths. I have monthly sound baths, There are unique workshops that may be one time or once a year, and I also do private sessions. So my weekly sound bath I offer on Wednesdays at 11, and it's a small group. I use a different set of bowls that are quieter and a little more gentle, and I infuse Reiki into that as well, which is like a energy healing session. On Fridays at 7 p.m. I have a facilitator named Adam, and he does a sound healing meditation. So it is a little more heavy on the meditation, but sound healing is actually meditation anyway. So it is just a little more instructional. So if someone was like, I would like to try meditation, it's a really good way to start. Well, on my Sunday night at 5:30, that's my most popular one. It's every week, every Sunday at 5:30.
Good way to start your week.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
a really good way to kind of wrap up the weekend and get your brain ready for the week.
Right.
And I've had many people tell me that it really helps them reset and focus on the task ahead.
Well, we're excited because you're going to play some tunes for us,
I'm
right?
going to play some bowls for you. Yeah. It'll be a very, very abbreviated version of what you would experience here.
Okay.
We're looking forward to it.
Okay, great. Let's do it.
Lee, wasn't that the most amazing experience of your life? Lee. Oh, I guess it really does reduce stress. She's out like a light. We highly recommend that you go and do a workshop at the Sound Healing Center. It was amazing.
Very cool.
All the information's up on the screen.